future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
This. Hi, welcome back to Plus This. I'm Kathy Deach.
And I am Eva Tingleon. I had to say my name like that. I just felt
Tingleon.
like it. Tingleon. You know, I fight with Peter. I don't think Peter says my last name right.
How does he say it?
He says my last name Tingley. And I'm like, my name is not Tingley. I'm not British. My last name is Tingley.
Tingley.
I want the G. Tingley, not Tingley.
Remember when I had that during one of our new moon meditations, when I totally had, like, on my meditation had tingly kept I was all tingly, like, said over and over, and then I, like, met you the next day.
I know. You're like,
okay, literal, too literal.
A little too literal meditation.
Meditation. We have an amazing show.
Speaking
today.
of not knowing how to say someone's name.
I know, right?
I should have bet you. I should have bet you.
I know. I should ask everyone how they think my name's said, though, because no one ever gets my name right.
Oh, your last name?
Yeah.
Oh.
Deach. Deach like peach.
Right.
I have a friend. I don't like to say Deach like beach because people think that it's beach.
Oh, right.
But no one ever thinks my name is Kathy Peach.
Right. That makes sense.
So, but my friend always would call me Peaches. So cute.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
But we had a big debate on Instagram, if you haven't been following, about how to say this person's name, because I went with the Broadway pronunciation.
Of course, because if you didn't know, Kathy Deach, Miss Peach, was on the Broadway.
And in a musical called Falsettos, there was a character called Trina, spelled the same way.
And I was like, no, her name is Trina.
Like the rapper.
Like just Trina. Like everybody I've ever met named Trina. That's how you say it. She's like, it's Trina. So we'd have conversations where Kathy would say Trina and I would say Trina, but we were talking about the same person.
But it ends up that Trina is right.
I won, and I should have bet her.
And Trina Dong is here.
Trina Dong. She's not here yet, but she's going to be here.
Yeah, well, she'll be sitting in a seat soon. But she's here in the building.
Yes.
We've already had a kiki, which is why we know how to pronounce her name.
Yes, we had to. I was like, I came in, I was like, did I win? She was like, yes, you did. I was like, yes.
We're both wearing pink, and I kind of can't stand it with our pink things.
My plaid
our little pink things.
I just love it so much.
I know, I love the satiny, silky thing.
And look how cute my bracelet is.
Oh.
Somebody gave it to me. Hello,
Look
Miss
at that.
Anne-Marie D. I mean, you're not Deach. I mean, I guess you are, but
She is D.J. Anderson.
yeah.
And I have a bracelet, too, which I never wear bracelets. That's from Avenue.
That is from
They
Avenue.
hooked
It's so
us up.
cute.
And it's roses, like my flowers.
I mean, just adorable.
We couldn't help it. I'm living my 90s dream. My dark life with my choker.
Choker. It's amazing.
So, some fun things happened this week. Well, you can call them fun.
Fun, I suppose, kind of.
But I think that
empowering things happened.
For sure. That fierce 8th grader from Indiana, like, called a spade on her test, which I loved.
In her, like, PE test, which who has a written PE test? I'm just saying.
That's how bad it is. It's terrible. It's really bad.
Like, in PE, they instead of actually, like, doing some physical education, they were like, okay, let's calculate your BMI and do this whole thing. And she was like, not having it.
And she literally wrote a novel. It's amazing.
It was so great.
An essay about it. And we have some quotes. So she started off pretty much being like, I really think this is, like, way old, this way of thinking. And she explains why. There was an author that she had found that explained exactly why BMI is terrible. So let's say there's a fairly athletic woman who maintains a decent diet. She's 5 feet 6 inches and she weighs 190 pounds, but 80% of her body is muscle. That doesn't matter when calculating BMI. This woman's BMI would be 30.7 and she would be labeled obese. Does that make sense to you? Because it sure doesn't make sense to me. And then when you research further, which we did, and we posted an article on our Facebook page that you definitely want to check out from NPR. It's amazing. One of the things is that this wasn't for individuals. This was never made for individuals.
No, wait. Can we just go back to the 8th grader for a second? Because
Yes.
I just want to praise her a little bit more, and then we can talk about the NPR
Yeah,
article.
of course.
My favorite part of what she wrote was that she, at the very end, she said, by the way, my BMI is none of your concern because my body and my BMI are perfect and beautiful just the way they are. And she was like learning how to love herself. And the fact that she stood up, I'm like thinking about myself in 8th grade, and I was a pretty big tool bag in 8th grade. Like there's no way that I would have had the wherewithal to say those things.
Yeah.
I mean, I was considered obese in 8th grade.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And wasn't. Like when we were calculating our BMI in 8th grade, I remember my friends being like, that can't be right. You're like the strongest person I know. Like how could you possibly be obese? But I was. But I wish that I would have had the wherewithal, or that people were having a conversation about that. Or,
well, let's be honest. The interweb was not helping us out as kids at all.
No, it wasn't even around.
So we didn't have that help, and we didn't. So she obviously got educated and was like, "Let me research
and had
what
a
this
kick-ass
is."
doctor who was like, "Girl,
But the
you're
reason
good."
why she went to the doctor was because this sent her spinning so terribly that she was wearing like 4 bras at a time in order to
conceal
cover
her back fat, which that's
when
crazy.
are we just going to get over it?
Okay, but getting back to the NPR article,
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to first of all, I want to point out when that BMI calculation came out. The idea for BMI was a early 19th century idea, and I just want to remind you, we're in the 21st century.
Yeah,
things have changed, and he used this idea for a populace.
Yes, it was for the populace. It was never meant to be broken down for the individual. That is something that our government did, and it's totally busted. And so there was like a list of 10 things. Each one of the things is explained at length
by this scientist
on NPR.
Yeah, from Stanford. His name is Kevin Devlin,
and he does
he's an amazing British.
You can listen to it too. Like they interviewed him about it too.
Yeah.
But he like also wrote an article, which is amazing. And I mean, there's each one of these things he literally breaks down why this is true. And just to give you a taste, the person who dreamed up the BMI said explicitly it could not and should not be used to indicate the level of fatness in an individual. Boom. It is scientifically nonsensical. It is physiologically wrong. It gets the logic wrong. It's bad statistics. It's lying by scientific authority. I mean, all of these things. It sounds very Trumpian, doesn't it?
No, but it was
not to be a jerk.
But one of the ones that I thought was really interesting was that it said it makes more cynical members of society suspect that the medical insurance industry lobbies for the continued use of BMI to keep their profits high.
And that's the rub.
I mean, look, but he did also talk about how measuring your waist makes a difference, and I think that if you measure my waist, I'm a chubs. Not gonna deny it, but also like that's not the only thing that you can factor in. Like there has to be other things that you factor in, like your blood work and all of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing is that they're introducing this in grade school. You know, if you think about that age of 14, a girl most likely has just gotten her period, like just going through the change.
I mean, and you are like an emotional wreck.
And then let's add on to that this idea that I'm going to pinch your inches around your body to tell you whether
No, wait. First of all, in front of everybody.
Yeah.
In front of everybody. I remember, like, I know exactly where this happened in my 8th grade class. I know exactly where we were when this happened, and all the cute boys were there. All of the the mean girls were there. It was not a fun thing to have happen.
No, it's totally
traumatic.
traumatizing. And then they wonder why there's bullying in schools. Like you're literally like handing kids just like a guideline on how to do it. Like here's some points that you can make in order to do it. It's really terrible. And this is why I want us to lobby Congress to stop using it. We have to like get it together. We have to create a think tank. I'm not kidding. I really am.
Kenya, we're looking at you.
Exactly, Kenya. And not the country. Kenya.
No, Kenya Parham. We're looking at you,
So the
girl.
last one, it said, it embarrasses the U.S., which I kind of loved, and I wrote the whole thing out. It is embarrassing for one of the most scientifically, technologically, and medicinally advanced nations in the world to base advice on how to prevent one of the leading causes of poor health and premature death on a 200-year-old numerical track.
200 years old. When stuff's 200 years old, it's outdated. Just saying.
I mean, anything else.
I don't know why I had to sing that,
No,
but
it's true.
it just
But like
made me mad.
anything else that you use,
I
that's.
sang it.
Can you imagine anything else that we like swear by? That's
Let's
like
use
200
dental
years?
practices from 200 years ago. That sounds,
Which
that
basically-
sounds thrilling.
Which basically just like reaching into your mouth and pulling
just
a
like
tooth out.
torture devices. Doesn't that sound smart?
You just eat until your teeth fall out. That was
That's
what
true.
it was.
That's true.
At least my Irish people. That's probably what it was.
Probably. I mean, I think it's kind of
my mom
everybody.
always is like, you got rotten Irish teeth. It's so funny. Yeah. Another thing that happens.
Yes, this UK beauty queen, Zoe Worlds, gave back her crown. Dun dun dun.
She's done.
They said to her, "Hey, before you go to nationals, you gotta lose weight." She was a size 6.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a picture of her.
Yeah, and she's stunning. She's gorgeous, guys. Honestly, she's so beautiful. And
What a waste. It's like,
what she wrote this whole long, wonderful Facebook page post. And she said that if the pageant doesn't want to utilize my capabilities because I'm a size 10, she was a size 10, then it's their loss. I'm not here to name and shame. However, I wanted to be honest with you all as to why I will not be participating in the competition. I also thought what was interesting was that she talked about how the pageant, that specific pageant, was bullying young aspiring girls into believing that the only way that they could be successful was to be thin. And she was like, and I just don't think that it's right to have my face representing a pageant ethos that I don't believe in.
right. It comes from the top. And we found that when we were
and
judges on a pageant.
First of all, she is not the first one to step down for this
Exactly.
reason.
Another country, another year did it too. Yeah. Because that's how severe the bullying is. I mean, they must have just been on top of her. Because here's the thing. As women, we are taught that sly comments about your weight are okay. Right?
Right.
Like someone being like, this little slug, you might need a spank. You know,
Yeah.
or,
You're
yeah.
it's tight a little. Oh, it's I can see it pinching you. Is that pinching?
Yeah.
Oh, your shirt's puckering a tad.
Yeah.
Do you need a pin?
Yeah, so we're used to passive aggressive things about our weight and taking it. So these guys must just be brutal. I mean, I can't imagine that you are a pageant. How long was this girl in pageants? Probably. I mean, we don't.
I mean,
really
her
know.
list. She had I looked at her Facebook list. She had quite a bit.
She's been doing
experience.
pageants forever. This is the epitome. She's about to go to Worlds or whatever it's called.
Right.
And all of a sudden, now she can't handle the pressure of losing weight. Like, it doesn't seem. These guys must be terrible. They must be terrible humans because there already is a psychology in pageants to do that. Do you know what I'm saying,
right.
Eva?
It's not
so
like
this has got to be like outlier stuff. Like, this isn't just they were pressuring me. They must have been like complete assholes up her ass. Don't you think?
Right, like send us your weights every day or every week or whatever.
Yeah, we need your measurements. Whatever. I don't
But
know.
it's kind of like won at that size. It's not like she won at a size 6 and then gained 20. She won at that size, so let her win at Worlds at that size.
Yeah,
like,
and by the way, even if she hadn't, even if she was a size 6 and now is a size 10, like, who cares? Like,
it should be more than that.
Yeah. I
mean, at least the pageant that we judged seemed to be more than that.
For sure. I think so.
I mean, that was what I realized. Like, I was like, oh, it's not about being a size 0 and tiny and perfect. It wasn't about that.
Yeah. I think that there was sort of a feeling that if you were really fit, then you would have confidence. Does that make sense? Like, I think that people sort of tie those together. Like,
I don't feel like that's true. I mean, yes, I agree with you
Within
that
the
people think
pageant
that,
world,
but I think
yeah.
that that's also really not true.
No, I
with
think it's a total
91% of women hating themselves,
Yeah.
of the hating their bodies,
No.
that's obviously not true.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it is a fallacy. It's so funny because I was thinking today about, like, have I ever known anyone who was heavy that really was confident no matter what. Like, I feel like every single big girl I know has come around to body confidence. Like, I don't know one girl that out of the gate has always looked that way, just doesn't care. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, that's how crazy it is that we have to go through this cycle of undoing, right?
Yeah, and like undoing what we say, undoing what we see all the time everywhere. For sure.
Even on Instagram, we keep finding these amazing, like, gorgeous, curvy, big women with hot guys. Ugh. And every time it hits me.
Every time you're like, Eva, can you do these with Peter? And I'm like,
Eva, just do it so we have some. We need to contribute. If I was with a guy, I would totally make him do it with me. And then shoot them from, like, here up. I'm kidding. If you had their sheet positioned right, I might do it. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like our duty to put stuff out there.
Why is it my duty always to be the naked one? Just saying.
You like it. You like it. I didn't even pressure you that one time to do it.
No,
you did it on your own.
I did do it on my own. I don't know that I have to keep doing it.
I'm so peer pressuring her, guys.
She is bullying me into doing nudes with my husband.
But I also was thinking, like, you know, no wonder for years I didn't think I could have anybody, because I literally never saw pictures of anybody my size and love.
Right.
Besides my parents and like the Roseanne Barr show, like
right.
literally were like Roseanne and my parents were the only
and God forbid Roseanne actually had a hot husband.
Right.
I mean, like, on television, the fat husband can have a hot wife, Leah Remini.
Right.
But can't be the other way around.
Right. Although I've always thought Dan Goodman was really hot.
Okay.
I really did.
I'm going to let you have that.
I always thought he was hot.
He's a very talented actor, and I think he's very funny, but...
I always thought he was a hottie.
But, you know, I really like a swarthy guy.
You do.
I really do. I'm going to say that it's that.
But how exciting that there are opportunities for plus size pageants, and one of our first friends of the show, Cher had just posted, like, as this was happening, posted that they're looking for new California plus size Miss California
Plus California.
California plus
one
Miss,
of those.
Wait, we wrote it down.
Miss California Plus America pageant.
Oh, there you go.
So go be in it.
Go
if you want to be in a pageant,
put yourself in California. We're gonna make Trina do it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She would win.
She would totally win. She's hilarious.
Oh my God.
You guys are gonna have so much fun
Trina,
with her.
you don't even know
Trina,
it. We're signing you up
so
right now.
signing you up.
We're paying for it. We're just we're gonna go to break, and then she's gonna be like, nowhere to be found. Cricket. We're like, so what are we talking about?
Which we should go to break and get her out here so we can spend more time with her.
Yes, go do it.
All right, guys, so we'll be back. Plus this, stay tuned.
You know that 67% of American women are size 14 and above.
You mean they look like this?
Yeah, girl.
So then where are we in television and film?
And where are we in fashion magazines and clothing stores?
Yeah.
So we want to help out entertainment and fashion and media.
Catch the F up.
Topics get hot. We want to hear what y'all have to say.
And they will get hot.
Absolutely.
I have a question for you. It's kind of like a dirty little one. So if you had to do a love scene with somebody else famous, who would it be?
Oscar Isaac.
Love how I asked you that and you had an answer like right away.
We sang, we laughed, we cried.
You gotta go back. No, we didn't cry.
We didn't cry.
Everybody should be able to be seen in, I mean, maybe not every single campaign, but let's try to include it in as many campaigns as we can.
Witchy poo, we told you.
We're just putting it in the
meditate.
cauldron for you.
We're gonna get the candles. Yeah. People are having sex with us. We need to show that we're like part of this society, and being sexual is part of that.
Absolutely.
So tough titty, you're fucking uncomfortable.
Watch a fat girl love herself.
Applause.
But just us. Applauding. So good.
Plus this.
Promotional consideration brought to you by Melissa Massey.
Custom clothing isn't exclusively for the rich and famous. Melissa Massey is custom-made clothing for everyday wear. A unique combination of custom tailoring and deluxe fabrics that is well made and fit for every size and frame. Made in LA, sold in LA, and online at melissamassey.com.
Hi.
We're back. And we have a Trina Dong with us.
What up, everybody? Trina.
Did I say Trina?
No, you didn't.
Trina.
I was going to say, did I
No,
just
you're the right
say
one.
Trina?
No, you're the right one. I just want to make it clear that you were the right one, and we all know.
Winner, Trina Dong.
Eva likes winning.
Trina, no, it's not.
I
It's
like
not.
winning too, so I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Trina, I love that Michael Corte, City of Tenants, put us together. So at our old studio, he recommended you, and then literally as you were going to be a guest, like they shut down. Imploded.
Oh,
so,
well.
Yeah, it was crazy. So now the timing's perfect, though.
Yes.
I
He's the
feel it in
greatest.
the air.
Because we're signing you up for a pageant.
I
It's already
heard
started.
I'm competing. I heard
Yeah.
I already won.
Yeah, you're going to win.
You're
Perfect.
totally a winner.
We're going
I
to judge it,
appreciate
and we're going to make you win.
We're gonna stack.
We're going to rig it. Did everybody hear that? They're rigging it.
rigging elections. Not that
Why
hard.
not? It's happening everywhere.
You're a big improviser and a big sketch person.
Yeah.
And what brought you to LA? Oh, are you an LA native?
I'm not. I'm originally from Wisconsin. And then I moved
Wisconsin. Do you say bag?
I say bag.
So weird
I try so hard,
to say bag.
but it just, you have to be really in the moment with yourself to
Yeah.
catch it, and it
Yeah.
never works. I moved here about 3 years ago. I lived in New York City for a really long time. I was actually an entertainment publicist for a long time before I decided to kick it and actually go for the dream.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Don't be a shadow artist. Be a
No,
real
man.
artist. Get out there.
Yeah, stop making other people famous.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
What did you learn about doing that, though? You must have learned how
I
to be in the
learned-
world.
All the
How to be in
things.
the world.
I learned all the things.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky to have had that previous to this, just because I can help myself, I can help people around me. But this is much better
Yeah.
for me.
I'm
Anyway.
sure.
Yeah.
And I love that you are doing a web series right now that you were like, guess what, guys? They don't even mention my size. And
Yeah. I
tell us about it.
shot this really amazing digital miniseries like a month ago-ish. But I play like the dominating, like sexual best friend-ish. And there's this really hot dude that's my co-star in the episode. And, you know, usually when we get these roles, right, in the description, it's like heavy, plus size,
Right.
bigger,
Rotund.
or whatever
Yeah.
it is. And this one was just, and there's usually a line that says, like, that wants
That
you
acknowledges
to,
it.
that acknowledges that you are, not that everybody can't tell, you know.
They have to out you.
Exactly.
As fat.
You get outed pretty quick. But this one was just not that. It was a really great experience to not have to think about it, to not have to talk about it, and just act and be a human and not be, you know, going in for something that, you know, so specific that only I could be in for. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It was
I
great.
love it so much.
That's great. So you had an audition and you got it.
It was kind of someone watched my reel, my clips, my headshot, and she was like, it's her, let's
I
get it.
love it.
That's awesome. That
Yeah.
feels good.
And is it a woman producer?
It's a female producer, female director, mostly female crew.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
feel
good
like
stuff.
do you feel like it's different? We've talked about this where having female producers and directors and all that, just like a lot of women around, it just the environment is
Yeah.
so different.
The vibe, not that I don't love the boys.
No, sure, we're not saying we don't.
Yeah,
but
there's something more. And this director too, she's incredible, and she's very, not that male directors aren't, but it's a hands-on situation. She knows how you're probably feeling. She knows, you know, how to speak to you in a way to where you're just going to thrive. And then to have, you know, your female DP, and, you know, she's going to make you look as good as possible. Like, that's such a cool experience.
Yeah, it is.
love it.
And
I love
I
it.
don't know. I'm all for the estrogen these days. Like,
oh yeah, but remember when we did our short? It was kind of hard to find a female DP.
Oh, really?
well, I think in our circles.
Yeah, well,
Like,
and
in some circles it's not. In some circles you like throw a dart and they're there.
no, but somebody I asked was like, why does it have to be a female? And I was like, Because I want it to. Because I'm producing it, and that's what I want.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But we did find a kick-ass DP.
She's so good. It's
Jen
almost
Hooks.
done. We're very excited, but it takes forever.
Oh.
And we're
The post is like, just kill me
The
now.
whole
so
thing.
we're like this close.
I know.
But we have
Let's,
something else today, guys, which we'll be showing you later.
yeah.
So don't
We're very
worry. We're still
excited about it.
doing
La
different
la.
stuff.
We're doing stuff. We're creating stuff, guys.
Yeah, and so is Trina. Trina, you tell us about your podcast.
Yeah. I love doing this podcast. I do it with one of my best friends, Stephanie Matsuba. What up, girl, if you're listening.
Hello, Stephanie.
So we do a podcast. It's based on weird international dating things that are happening. So whether that be like a new app that we're like, what the hell is going on? Or someone experienced something on a TV show, or just something not that U.S. dating shows aren't absolutely crazy as well. Now,
Totally
dating
are.
in the dark and naked in the
naked
dark and
and
things
the-
like
I
that.
mean, just The Bachelor is
Yeah, good enough. Good enough to just
crazy
go on
enough.
for hours.
Yeah.
But we always have a male comedian on every episode, so we can get a little, difference in opinion, and we just have fun and we just gab about stuff. People write in, ask us questions. Tell us weird stories.
when I came in, I was like, oh, I listen to your podcast, and you're like, I was like, it was a guy. You're like, yeah,
they're guys.
I didn't know it was all guys.
We're not opposed to having women on. It's just kind of who ends up. We want to have a difference in opinion on the show, and we and a funny guy. Perfect.
And people write in and ask you guys questions.
Yeah, more so like tell us because we talk about the most insane things.
Yeah.
So people write in so that we can talk about their insane things that have personally happened to them.
Okay, so why do you think international is different than national? Like, explain that to people if they don't understand exactly what that
I
is.
don't know why it's so much different. One of our first episodes was about smell dating. And it started in London, and you go speed dating and you smell each other's armpits, and
They did that on The Bachelor.
yeah, they did. And then based on
And then the
smell,
guy was like, this one smells. He used a very specific word, like that it wasn't good, but it wasn't like a bad word. It was like something, and she was so offended that he didn't like the way she smelled.
I didn't really know that you watched The Bachelor that much, Eva.
I used to do a little show on YouTube called Brett and Brown. We would talk like The Bachelor.
Oh my
and
god!
like give Rick helps.
Oh my
So yeah,
gosh.
I used to watch The
know
Bachelor.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guys,
it's
I
a-
have to
it's
admit,
a
I
thing.
can't do
With
The
Polly.
Bachelor.
Polly.
Oh,
Polly
I
nice
can't
too.
do The Bachelor. I tried that first season, and I was just like, oh my god, is this life now? Is
Oh
this
no!
what we're
If
doing?
you watch it with the whole purpose of it being ridiculous, it's amazing.
I quit recently. I'm a recent quitter of The
Okay.
Bachelor.
But I wonder if the international thing is different because, like, if you think about like international television, it's super weird
Yes.
already. Like,
Yeah.
even like they show like Wheel of Fortune in Slovakia. You're like, what the hell's happening there? Like, you gotta do a chicken dance to win? Like, I don't understand what's happening. I mean, that's just kind of, it's just different
Yeah.
in different countries, which is totally cool.
It's not always TV and apps. It can be like a news story of something
Right.
crazy that love provoked.
what is the craziest thing that you can remember recently?
I mean, the one that you were, the one that
The
you listened to,
toilet-
the toilet dating,
Toilet
was
dating.
pretty wild. I don't remember the country right now, but you go and you like it's set up so you're sitting on toilets for your. It's like speed dating, but you're sitting on toilets
But
for your
like,
date.
why?
I feel like it's the most uncomfortable spot in the world. So what else could be more uncomfortable than
It's
sitting on
really
a toilet
just
next to
gross.
someone?
It's really just gross. First of all, I just have to say that my husband and I don't even go to the bathroom in front of each other. We just don't.
No.
And so to like go on a first date and do that just feels
People are trying really hard.
I mean, it's
to
like
figure out new
vulnerable
ways
in
to
a
love.
whole new way, right? Like it's
Yeah.
just not.
I mean,
my
I guess
jam.
that is a place where you're really vulnerable.
But the thing is that they didn't have their pants down. It wasn't like they were going
They
to
were
the
just-
bathroom. They were
yeah.
just sitting on toilets.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
It's weird. And one guy that we had on actually brought something up to us. There's, I guess, a park that people go to in an Asian country, and the parents bring their kids' resumes, like their life resume, not a career, and then you talk amongst the other parents and try to set each other up. And
Oh, it's
Oh my
like
God,
arranged marriage.
It's like
Yeah.
cruising in Central Park,
except your parents are doing
arranged
it.
marriage cruising. That is
It's
really
so-
strange. Now,
I
has
mean-
it changed how you feel about dating? You doing the show?
it's made it lighter. You know, not everything. Dating in LA is such a ugly, ugly beast.
Oh,
And
we were
so-
talking about it before.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I could handle it these days. I'm not sure.
No.
I mean, we could totally go out for drinks after and talk about it. I literally, like, I've tried every website and app maybe once.
Okay.
And went on one date. Honestly, the one time the guy was really, really nice. I just didn't feel any chemistry, and he, like, clearly wanted to date me.
Yeah.
And that felt weird and sad. And I was like, oh, shoot. Oh.
You're
And
like, there's just not a spark, bud. I just can't, I can't force it.
But I felt like we could,
Exactly.
if that wasn't the case, I felt like we could have been friends for a really long
Yeah.
time. But then I tried that Tinder and went on a terrible date. It was just bad. I can't. I don't know how
But
anyone's
Tinder's
doing
not
it.
for dating. Tinder's for.
Well, this
You
is
know
when
what?
it
No,
first came out. It was
Oh.
for dating.
I know a couple couples now that met on Tinder. Where
Because
you meet
they
Tinder, but
went-
you lie,
they
though.
Tindered
You're
and
like,
then
the
they-
grocery store. You're a liar. You met on Tinder.
Oh.
You know, it's crazy.
But really, Tinder's for like getting your.
Getting your
It
groove.
should be really Grinder, but Grinder's for gays. But
Right.
so it's like
But
really
it
what
didn't
it
start
is.
out that way, Miss Married Lady. At the beginning, it was
Sure.
real.
There's
Oh
some
wait! First of all, I have to say that Trina's podcast made me feel so old. They're all talking about all these like cool clubs that they're going to. Oh yeah, you know that one down the door or whatever. And I'm just like, no clue. And then she's talking about going to see something at 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, yeah, I'm probably going to be
Sometimes-
listening to my hypnosis and falling asleep in that time.
Listen, sometimes you just got to do it.
I know.
If the funny's
I
not
just-
happening until 11, you wait till 11.
I guess.
It's very true. Now, what do you think of the improv community as far as bigger women? Like, I feel like honestly, I've seen more bigger women perform in improv than anywhere else in the city.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely the case as far as comedy is concerned, for sure. You know, it's not really something I think about until I see it in front of me, because I just, it's not always on my mind. But yeah, I mean, I think the improv community is an insanely accepting community if you surround yourself with the right folks. And I've had maybe one comment of someone that didn't know I was listening, maybe about my size. But other than that, it's just like, if you're funny, you're funny. If you're not, you're not. It doesn't really matter what you look like, right?
And have you been doing improv for a long time?
Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. I did it while I was in New York, while I was still a publicist. I would do it like whenever I had time. And
On
then
the
here,
side? That was like your side
That
job?
was my side piece. And then, yeah, here for the last 3 years, I've on this team with a group of people that I just love laughing with. And you know, when you're in that environment, your differences don't mean a whole lot.
That's
Yeah,
great.
for
Yeah.
sure.
That's
Because you need each
great.
other.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you have to find tribes here in LA. Like, it's
For
not
sure.
easy. And the improv groups are a great way to do it. I know many people in acting classes and improv groups. Like, that was their tribe. That's how they came up. That's how they knew how to be in this
Yeah.
crazy freaking LA world. Speaking of, we made a little video that
We did.
was a clapback to
Bill Maher.
Bill Maher, which we talked about
Yes.
last week. So we're going to let y'all watch it, and then we're going to talk about women in comedy and fat jokes in comedy when we come back with Trina.
New rule. When you greet someone, don't tell them they look great and then ask if they've lost weight. Saying you look great is enough. Full stop. Their weight is none of your business and most likely will turn the conversation into a virtual Weight Watchers points competition worse than any fantasy football league. Soon to follow will be people one-upping each other with foodie Instagrams that look like someone upchucked on a plate. Snore! If we wanted eating to be a competitive sport, we'd elbow some blue hairs out of the way at an early bird TGI Fridays buffet.
New rule. When I'm with my super hot husband, don't look me up and down and ask, hey, how'd you get him? In fact, don't do that to any big girl who has a super hot husband, because the answer always is, because I'm hot as fuck. And actually, he got me. Then go take a seat in your single as fuck corner that you crawled out of.
And finally, new rule, sometimes satirists have no idea that the point they're making is completely ironic. Sometimes they are totally culpable of the very thing they literally accuse others of with great disdain.
2 episodes ago on Real Time, Bill Maher made the case that both extremes, the far left and the far right, makes things worse by agreeing on certain issues. One of those issues he called the bipartisan pro-fat movement, and threw around stats about obesity being a huge chunk of our healthcare bill.
Now, we're not going to spend this time explaining to Bill how fat people don't go to the doctor as often because of fat shaming. And even when they do, most doctors don't take their actual symptoms into consideration. They just take one look and say, lose weight, and shove them out the door. Or about how even the Department of Health's BMI scale, which regulates what obesity is, has been debunked by studies over and over again as an antiquated system.
No, we'd like to talk about the bipartisan company Bill keeps with the garbage he spews about fat people. He's probably not going to like it. Try the founder of the neo-Nazi site The Daily Stormer, Andrew England. He likes to fat shame too. He thinks the healthcare system is being tanked by fat people, especially women. He was the one who fat shamed Heather Heyer, the victim of the terrorist attack in Charlottesville, celebrating her murder because she was a drain on society. Sound familiar, Bill?
Oh, Andrew thinks he was being hilarious too. When pressed further by the Washington Post about his original cruel and base post, he twice referred to his blog as a joke and suggested that Heyer may have suffered a heart attack at the scene. See? A pair of fucking comedians you two are!
But unlike England, whose remarks were considered so terrible that his website was on a day-to-day cat and mouse chase with servers who felt like his comments were so deplorable, so despicable, that no one wants to give him a platform for so much hate, you get to keep talking on TV about how no one thinks fat jokes are funny anymore. Ah!
Fucking liberal softies. Bill, if you can't see how you are flirting with bipartisanship with the most amoral base in this country over making Chris Christie fat jokes, then maybe you shouldn't get to make jokes at all anymore.
What good is a satirist who can't see he's a wolf blowing his own house a hay down?
We'll be the pigs on the sidelines laughing as the roof caves in on your ass. Good night!
Plus this.
What do you guys think of that?
What was that? How's that?
What was that?
I'm looking for people giving us love. It's very nice.
I mean, we banged that out.
We did. We had many feelings about it.
Yeah, we did.
Because
And that was beautifully written by Kathy Dong.
Oh,
the peach, the peach, the peach.
To give me credit, is rage writing. My favorite kind of writing.
Well, there were certain things that I had to say that I was like, oh, I wouldn't really say this, but I will say it. Because I would not tell people to go crawl back in their single corner, but I will say it. Acting.
Actually, like someone who would say it. So one of the things we wanted to talk to you about was, do you feel like when you obviously watch a lot of comedy, not just improv, do you find, actually, I should say, Eva has a dear friend who I am an acquaintance of who is a man of a certain size, and he loves to do his fat jokes. And when we go to comedy nights, there is sort of like...
About himself. Do you know Angelo Sarukas?
I don't.
Okay, he's a big, real big guy. And he likes to, that's like one of the first things that he says when he gets on stage is like, talks about his size.
Yeah. And it's like that feeling like you have to make it be okay that you look the way you do. I was just wondering, do you find that for women and men there's a difference there? Like, there was a woman who was not really fat.
No, but I feel like every single person who came out, like once he announced them, because he kind of emceed it, once he came out, everybody seemed... Once they came off on the stage, it seemed like everybody had to also make a fat joke about him.
Yeah.
Too? Like, that was kind of weird.
Yeah. I would not call myself a stand-up comedian in any way whatsoever. I have a set. I do open mics when I feel like getting tortured. And my opening joke is about being plus size. And I think what that is... it's definitely insecurity, of course, but it also is, you make fun of yourself before you can make fun of other people. However, I wouldn't make fun of the other people. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't go on after him and make a joke because it's easy. It's the layup, right? You're like, oh, I know I'm going to nail this joke because now the crowd's in on it and we
Right.
got a game.
Right.
And so I'm going to keep talking about this thing that I know everybody already thinks is funny, but is it funny or is it just like something because you know you'll get a laugh, but is it really sad?
But I find
And
that
so-
comedians always, like, no matter what they look like, I feel like they that's the first thing that's easy to comment on is how they look.
Yeah.
Like whether they're like a tiny little person or whatever they are, it's like that's like, I guess maybe if you're writing what you know, then that's the thing that you're going to comment on is because if you're making fun of yourself, then no one else can make fun of you because you're already like making fun of yourself. But I still kind of feel like it's a little bit sad.
Yeah, I think if you were ever made fun of something, I mean, being a comedian is being, you know, there's something you're trying to work through, right? And so I think if you're ever made fun for some reason, you probably do your own joke. You just know you can do it better. And then you get it out of the way. One of my favorite stand-ups is Nicole Byer.
Oh, okay.
And she, the last set that I saw of her, she's going to be like, she told like a fat joke about herself. And she's like, that's the only one I'm going to tell. And then she told one of them, she's like, just kidding, told another one. And so it's more of like a coming at you like try me kind of thing,
Right.
because those are the comments that we get, right? Like those are the social media haters, those are the all of that, you know, they can't get you if you do it first.
Right.
But then after that, all of her other comedies about completely different things that are way more hilarious than talking about, you know, her size.
Yeah, for sure. It's this like idea in comedy that like women have to be hot, but not too hot. And if you are an outlier who is not, then you better wear that on your sleeve as a comic. I mean, I did comedy for one show.
Wait, I heard about this. Did you guys know that Kathy Deitch did the stand-up for one night only?
I was a stand-up comic once.
I heard you nailed it.
I fucking killed.
It's on YouTube too, guys.
But just from literally that one time, I was like, oh, I can never make this my life. There was so much open judging happening. You know what I mean? Like it was a great audience because it was people who were taking a class, invited all their friends.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really the audience. It was like the comics who were invited to help out the newbies. It was the people who worked at the place. Like there's such like an edge of like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And that also I felt also came with physical
For
things
sure.
too.
It's a make me laugh. Like, you need to make me laugh because I'm here and that's what I'm here for. And if you don't do it, then you suck. Like, that's the feel, the vibe of those rooms, especially an open mic room. People are just going to run their new material, right? And they're just trying to get to their turn. And so no one really cares about what you're saying.
Yeah, they don't even
And
listen. I
you're
mean,
not
I've been to
allowed-
open mics too. I haven't gone. I've supported other people at open
Right.
mics.
That's why, like, when it's an improv
It's
show.
like definitely not my thing.
Yeah.
I am like definitely not doing it.
No, I mean, don't. But the cool thing, when there's an improv show and there's a stand-up at an improv show, those audiences tend to be more like wanting to laugh versus like waiting for you to make me laugh.
Right.
Like they want to have fun. It's an hour of like us having fun and laughing. So, you know, you get a better reception that way.
Yeah, I want to talk really quickly about some of the videos you sent to us from BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
Because they're doing a lot of fun, like plus size topics. And there was the one which we're totally familiar with. I was so happy to get to post it again, about what we see, and we were talking about it a little bit earlier, and about how empowering it is to see like usually really couture editorial photos with extremely thin people all of a sudden with plus size girls. models extremely thin. They picked extremely thin model photos.
Yeah, the ones that they
Don't you
chose,
think?
there was quite a difference
I
between
think-
the two. Absolutely.
I feel like those were like real thin models that they picked.
Yeah.
Just in my opinion. I mean, maybe you don't you think?
I just think they look like, I don't know. I'm conditioned to see women, at least in magazines. I'm used to seeing them that thin, so didn't strike me as like extra thin.
You know what's really weird, and this is really true, because I do our Instagram. I'm telling you, Eva,
Right.
It's shocking to me. It's like my eyes are opened.
Yeah.
Because I'm like constantly looking at plus size girls. It helps so much. By the way, please do it. Add plus size girls to your Instagram feed, and it has really conditioned me.
I mean, I'm looking at Instagram all the time too.
I
but
know, but
I guess I wasn't as like, they're so skinny.
Oh,
I was like,
Yeah.
they're models.
But I love what you told us about how you felt like you were, especially the one about the risk taking and with fashion, that it would have maybe changed.
Oh, so if you didn't watch it, did we post the one about the fashion?
No, but I can.
The girls on BuzzFeed are challenging themselves every day for a week to do things that plus size girls should not wear or do or things. Anyway, so you were saying about how that would have affected you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so happy that it's all things too. It's not just, plus size people. It's Asian people. It's Black people. It's Hispanic people. You're more represented because there's more space on the internet. And so to be able for young girls today to see things like that, I just think it's such a huge positive thing for them. If I was watching these girls are bomb. And so they're incredible. And if you watch how cool they look, maybe, a young girl's fashion sense heightens a little bit earlier than maybe someone who had to wait to college to be cool.
Right. Or for someone to say to them like, oh, you can't wear that. And to see like, oh no, I can wear that and I can look really good and people will stop me on the street and say something to me.
Hell yeah. Like girls throw on that purple lip, put on some mascara, and you're going to, you can be bombed too. And I think that's what we didn't get to see without having the internet kind of run us. Say what you want to say. There are tons of bad things about the internet, but this is a good one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Do you
really
feel
great.
like being Asian and plus size really is like something that people are not blown away by, but it's kind of like you're like you're like a unicorn.
I'm a half Asian unicorn. I mean, I guess, I don't know, maybe it's just no matter what, it's hard. Everybody's like, especially when you go on auditions, you talk to like your white friends will be like, oh, you're really big right now, like you're gonna get auditions because diversity is in. First it's like, okay, don't talk to me ever again. But also,
you're like,
but also,
it.
it's a thing. It's definitely like that's what's happening. It's like big Asian, that's two separate things that I have to deal with. As far as like Hollywood is concerned, you're not going to get something that doesn't want both of those things. So yeah, it's a hardship, but also like I'm very blessed to just love what I'm doing. Great things will happen, when they're supposed to, and that's it.
Do you feel like you have to self-create in order to get your experience down?
Yeah, but I think we all do now. I'm self-creating with people of all shapes, sizes, and colors. And so we're all trying to do it because, that's how we're choosing to spend our time and to make it happen for ourselves. But yeah, I do think a little more than others because then I'll have more content. I don't get, 5 auditions a week. I get one every couple of months. And, you just got to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, that makes a difference, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like you feel like you sort of take control of your own odds when you make your own content. I mean, it's so funny. You were asking if we do this every week, and we're like, yep. You know what I mean? Like, sure enough, do. Because honestly, if we want to feel active and want to feel like we're participating in what's happening out here, you have to do your own thing, which is why I love your podcast. I think that, by the way, it also is hilarious. You should watch it. Can you tell everyone exactly where they can find it and the name of it, please?
Yes. So the podcast is called Come Clean. It's hosted by myself and Stephanie Matsuba. You can find it on iTunes. You can find it on Stitcher. You can find it on SoundCloud. You can follow our separate Instagrams.
What are your Instagrams? Tell the people.
My Instagram is the Trina Dong, and then
Trina, because I won.
Trina Dong. So follow us, and season 3 is coming up.
And what's Stephanie's?
Oh, at Stephanie Matsuba, Matsuba. So we call her. She's half Japanese, half black. I'm half Vietnamese, half white, and we're just doing it for the happas in the streets.
We love it. We had Jolene Purdy on.
Okay.
Do you know who she is?
I don't.
She's a happa. I'm allowed to call her that.
She was on Orange is the New Black.
Oh, okay.
And
cool.
She totally thought she saw me in a show and totally thought that I was Hapa, and I'm totally not. But she told our mutual friend, I just saw her do it and I thought I could do it. I was like, are you saying that you thinking I was Asian actually made you be a star? Is that what you're saying, Jolene?
All the credit is to you.
But listen, I will tell you, it is the crazy. It's at least once a month someone mistakes me.
I thought you were as well.
You did!
Yeah.
Guys, I can pass.
You can pass. Just do
And
it.
I think it's hilarious because people always think that Kathy and I are sisters. And I'm like,
no.
Aren't you half Asian too?
yeah, don't I look it?
Very much. So.
Just like real German. Just like a real German face over here.
I mean, it is. It's so. But the thing about like when you're a person of color and you're plus size, like you're right. And when people say it's such a great time for you, you must want to just slap them upside the head.
Oh yeah, I mean, people just say things so they feel better about what they're not getting. So it's like, oh, it's not my time. It's okay. It's someone like her's time. All right, cool. If that makes you sleep at night, I don't care.
Right.
But certainly it's the most, especially when it comes to...
You're like, yes, it's my time. I've gotten so many auditions and bookings.
You catch me on TV Monday through Friday. Like, no, it's not happening.
You're like, right.
I know it will, and when it, does, you can say it's my time then.
Yeah.
But, for right now,
But
it's...
don't you think Trina is like one of us? Like she's gonna be part of the posse, like making things. We're gonna call you and be like, "Girl, we need a director for this. Can you come in?" You're gonna be like, "Yeah, what?" I mean,
like, I'm too busy. I'm doing my own stuff.
She's like,
Never
"Honey,
listen.
I'm so sorry. I just got hired by Oprah."
Yeah.
I can't
Oh, is that
possibly
going to
do
happen?
that.
Did you read that in my future?
I mean, we
Yeah.
witchy
Witchy
poo
poo
stuff.
stuff.
Wait.
Thank you,
I have to
Crystal.
say, we witchy pooed. Chrissy Metz getting the Emmy nomination.
By the way, guys.
I mean, she was going to get it. But.
I love Chrissy. I love that whole damn show. Like, all I want to do is cry.
It's coming back. It's coming back.
It's coming back. I want to know all the things. I love her. She's so...
Oh, she was so great. And we witchy pooed it, and she did get nominated.
Yeah. We're just
So we're
saying.
witchy pooing. You're going to get a call from Oprah.
From Opes. What up, Opes?
Yes.
I'm around at the Trina Dong. Get at me.
Twitter, what?
Yeah.
I think Oprah every now and then, like once every 6 weeks, like picks up her phone and goes to her Twitter and goes, "Oh,
that's
and
nice."
then hands it right back to someone. Don't you think?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't
Maybe
know.
not that, even that.
Yeah.
So...
I'm thinking she probably goes, "Hey, can you tweet this? I just had a thought."
She says it to whoever the tweeter.
Someone go tweet that.
I had a thought.
That's a really good tweet.
That's tweetable. That's a tweetable.
That's a tweetable moment.
That's the dream,
Somebody
honestly.
tweet that.
You do a good Oprah.
You do.
I like Oprah was before me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really crazy. Can you have her on your improv show?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
Your character work is phenomenal.
Yes. I mean, you literally closed your eyes and you were thinking, Oprah is in the room.
So ridiculous. Trina, thank you so much for coming
thank you
out.
guys.
We're going to totally... And what is the web series again so we can follow that as well?
Oh, unnamed at the moment.
Oh,
and
no.
so
We'll
it'll
keep
be
you updated.
around.
We will
Yeah.
keep you
Yeah,
updated.
we'll be good.
We posted a little snippet from it that I found of you.
A snippet.
Is it the one where you, the guy, you were like, don't make me pull out the big guns to the guy in the office? No. That's something totally
That
different?
one's very self-made, but thank you for thinking that was
So
Yeah, that was
good.
my friend Mike. He wore a thong in that episode. Was very
Yes,
proud
he
of
did.
it.
Yes, he did.
That's a different thing. That's just us.
Okay, well,
That's
we
part of the
will
thing.
keep you posted.
Hilarious.
Trina's going to let us know. We're going
We're
to keep you guys
We're gonna
posted.
be Tweeter friends
Yeah.
now. We're gonna be tweeting at
Yeah,
each other all the
definitely.
time. So thank you for coming on.
Oh my god, you guys are the
Such
best.
a
Thank you for
great
having me. It was
time.
so
Oh
fun.
my gosh,
I
it was
know,
so
so
fun.
much
Too
fun.
short.
Too
Always-
short.
always
7
too
hours,
short.
guys.
So
I was told this was 7 hours.
We just do that so that
Well,
you
we'll
sweat
have-
it all
We
out.
will have to have you come back on.
Please.
All right.
Yes, please.
Thanks, guys.
Guys, see you next week. This time Thursday at Plus This.
future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Plus this. Hi, welcome back to Plus This. I'm Kathy Deach.
And I am Eva Tingleon.
And we
I had to say my name like that. I just felt like
Tingleon.
it. Tickle and tingle.